Hello there. Today we're going to get the achievement, The Empire Strikes Back. You can see I've already got it here. It's a really trivial achievement though. Starting as a Franco-Cratic or Franco-Croatia state, form the Latin Empire. It's really trivial. We'll be able to get it within, I don't know, 2 years, maybe 3. The main thing we're going to be waiting on is random events. We're starting as Athens here, as I believe they're the easiest nation to get this achievement. All we need to do is take Constantinople. Once we take Constantinople, we get an event that lets us become the Latin Empire, which will give us the achievement. So as I said, all we need to do is take this single city. Very easy. What we do with our government and economy doesn't really matter because it's going to happen so fast. What really matters is how strong Byzantium is when we declare war. There's a good chance they'll lose all of their levies due to events that reduce the happiness of their estates. But just in case they do have quite a strong army, we're going to increase the power of our own army. We're just going to hand out the offensive military doctrines to increase our morale. Then we're going to hand out primacy of the nobility to increase our discipline. Then we'll hand out common militias to increase the size and strength of our levies. Then we'll grab military orders for the clergy, which just increases our discipline a little bit. Next, we're going to fully accept our Greek pops instead of just tolerate them. This doesn't really make a difference, but it's nice to do. What we research really doesn't matter because we're likely just going to achieve our goals before we even get to the Renaissance, so we'll just go down for universal Christianity. For our cabinet seats, again, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be so fast. We're just going to increase control in Athens. Despite being Athens, our capital is not in Athens, so we might as well increase control there. And there, we're ready to unpause. You can see we're losing a bit of money, but this is all due to trade expenses, which the game will essentially solve itself within seconds of unpausing. We do start with a navy. We could just dissolve them if we want to. It doesn't particularly make a difference. We don't need to pay for cost of court either. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's not going to make a big difference. So we'll unpause. We're waiting on a certain event. This event here, the sudden death of Duke Guillaume II, which will allow us to stop becoming a vassal and absorb another nation. It's a 60% chance to trigger, so it should happen relatively quickly, but let's unpause and wait. If we're lucky, it will happen very soon. If we're unlucky, it will happen a little later. Here's the first event we're going to get. This is 100% chance to trigger, the rise of the Catalan Company. It really doesn't matter what we pick here, but personally, I prefer to continue trusting them just because it increases our morale by 10%. And there we go, the sudden death of Duke Guillaume, which happened basically as quickly as it could because it can only happen in 1338, and it happened the moment we hit January. So now we're going to pick the second option, which is to offer the duchy to the ruler of Argos. This will cause us to become independent and will also result in us integrating Argos into ourselves. So we'll do that. The Duke of Argos becomes our new duke. We now have to appease the Catalan Company, but again, it doesn't really matter. I prefer to just grant them additional privileges. Now we're pretty much ready to get the achievement. As I said, the state of things kind of depends on Byzantium. Byzantium in this run has ended up in a war with Serbia and Bulgaria. That could be a bit inconvenient, because remember, our goal is to take Constantinople. So we're going to immediately declare war. Trebizond's going to join. If we really needed to, we could ask for extra levies from the estates, and we could call emergency parliament and attempt to get more levies from that. But we don't need to, so I'm not going to bother to. We'll raise the army. We have got a little unlucky in this save because Byzantium is at war with Bulgaria and Serbia. Normally they demolish the forts they have here, but they haven't done so. Since this is an OCB war, our main source of war score is going to be from winning battles. Luckily, Epirus is here for us to just bully to death and take war score from. We also have our vassals who also assist. Here's the Byzantium army. They're just going to charge onto us. Despite their numbers, they're a lot weaker than us due to their low morale, so we should just completely wipe them even though we have half their size. And there we go, we can see that they immediately jumped on us and we completely stack wiped them. This could backfire a little bit as it makes Byzantium very vulnerable, so we're going to rush straight for Constantinople. We're not going to occupy it, we just need to sit on it to stop anyone else from occupying it. And there we go, we've arrived on Constantinople. Now we just need to get the war score to win the war. We're going to split off a few soldiers just to sit on Constantinople and siege it, and then we're going to run around and just occupy more of Byzantium's territory. We just need to get enough that they capitulate, which isn't very difficult, but it might be inconvenient due to the presence of the Serbians occupying land that we of course want to occupy. We'll have to see. There we go. Serbia just pieced out, so now it's even easier for us to achieve our goals. We just need to occupy the little bits of territory the Serbians didn't take. And there you can see we've hit 100 war score. Now we just need to wait for Byzantium to capitulate, which should happen fairly quickly after a few months or so. We'll continue to go around and occupy things just because there's nothing else for us to do, and just in case the war score ticks down, we don't really want it to go below 100 obviously. And there we go, Byzantium has capitulated. We'll take Byzantium and then we'll just make peace. And there we go, the reconquest of Constantinople. We will pre-claim the restoration of the Latin Empire, which will turn us into the Latin Empire and immediately get us the achievement. All in 2 years. A very easy achievement, and perhaps one of the easiest achievements in the game outside of simply declaring war or such likes. Personally, if this was a real run, instead of just grabbing Constantinople, I also would have grabbed a lot of land here so that we could form the Kingdom of Thessalonica first, as they have some good, unique advancements. For now though, this is our achievement run done. I do hope this video was helpful to you, and that you yourself can join the patrician 0.3% of players that have this achievement. Though now that I've revealed the strategy, I'm sure everyone can get it relatively quickly. It only took me 12 minutes based on my recording. But either way, thank you for watching. As I said, I do hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you next time.